racism inside of schools are reflective of racism at home. There's a student who has gone viral for saying the N-word and other racial slurs. I want to focus on the parents and the school system. Let me take you to a place called McDonough, Georgia. Some parents at Eagles Landing Christian Academy are outraged after a video that showed a student making racial remarks surfaced. In the video, the student can be heard using the N-word and other racial slurs. A parent said, and I quote, "This has been, I want to say, the underlying environment that my child has been exposed to," said former Eagles Landing Christian Academy parent Laura Perry. Now, Laura Perry, after this incident and really other incidents combined, took her child out of that school system, okay? It gets deeper. Perry said she recently enrolled her son in public school after she claims he was discriminated against at Eagles Landing Christian Academy. There are people in power. Now I want you to remember this, people in power, talking about the administrators of that institution, that are ignorant to the fact that there is some racism at the school, Perry said. One parent forwarded Washington an email originally sent from the academy's headmaster, and I'm gonna read that to you, but I want you to think about what this parent has said. She says there's ignorance about racism at this Christian academy. I disagree, madam, all due respect to the parent. It's not ignorance, it's protection. You see, the reason why they're not cracking down on this is because they can identify with the racism that exists. It permeates from a common place. So they protect these students rather than implementing systemic remedies to get rid of it. I will show you that in just a moment. The statement from the school said, a video of one of our high school students using racial slurs was posted on social media and shared in the ELCA community. Okay, that's a statement of fact. The ELCA does not tolerate this behavior, and the student has been disciplined by administration. I am grateful that we are in a Christian community that can not only hold one another accountable, but provide grace and mercy. Grace and mercy at the end of that statement means they're not going to do a damn thing about it. That's what that means. And their response is a response to the student rather than a response to the culture of Eagles Landing Christian Academy. And multiple parents have gone on record to say that this is a cultural issue at that school. Not the first, not the second, but many reports of racism inside of that school system. That is happening right now at this Christian Learning Academy. One of the parents went on record and had her face blurred and would not submit her name to local reporters because she was afraid of retaliation. I mean, damn, is this a Christian institution or the mafia? Maybe they're one and the same. Ain't no gangbanger like a white Christian evangelical. Talk about thuggery. She was afraid, like in witness protection. She was afraid of their level of retaliation in that local community. Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. Let me show you a picture of the headmaster for the school, Dr. Timothy R. Hahn. That's him, he's the guy in charge. Yeah. Now let me also remind you that while we are focusing on children, many in the social media world, they're focusing on the racism from the child. I want you to remember that in that same county, after that county had a city called Stockbridge, and Stockbridge finally received black leadership, meaning a black mayor, black city council, black everything. The Eagles Landing community in that same county wanted to leave the city of Stockbridge that just got black leadership. Let me read this to you. It was a ballot initiative to partition off the most affluent and overwhelmingly white population. sections of Stockbridge from its predominantly black communities. It failed during a midterm vote by a vote of 3,473 in favor and 4,545 in opposition. Residents in the existing Henry County city rejected a controversial proposal to carve out a new town to be called what? Eagles Landing from within its boundaries. So you mean to tell me that the parents of this community are so damn afraid of black people that as soon as the black city, Stockbridge, got a black mayor, they decided to file paperwork to leave the black city and to make themselves their own city? No wonder these students are acting this way in this institution. Adrienne, thoughts?
Well, I think what we have is just a reflection of our society here. As we've seen before with Georgia State Board of Education voting, essentially endorsing Brian Kemp's opposition to teaching critical race theory. And we're seeing the product of things like this, where we have an abundance of ignorance going on. And we also have a highly segregated area there in Henry County. The school district itself is 51% black, but this Eagles Landing Christian Academy is 70% white. Why? Because the school district itself has a high degree of segregation between black students and white students. So essentially what individuals are doing down there, whether they are fully cognizant of it or not, is that they are keeping black and white students separated, and they are continuing to maintain this racial hierarchy that is going on and feigning ignorance when they see explicit acts of racism as they're seeing in this situation.
Yeah, well said.